Hi, welcome to the Supply Chain Career Coach Corner. My name is Rodney Apple. I'm the founder and president of SCM Talent Group. We're a national supply chain recruiting and executive search firm. I also serve as the career coach for ASCM, formerly Apex. Have been doing so since 2014. This is a brand new series that we are very excited to launch for 2020. We're going to be producing content, video content, and we're going to cover all topics under the career development or professional development umbrella. So with our Supply Chain Career Coach Corner series, we want this to be an interactive program. What that means is you submit a question, a burning question, and make sure it's under the professional development category, and then we will fill these questions and we'll be producing a periodic series to answer the questions in detail, and then we'll host these on our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to at the link below. So we're going to get started with our first question. Katie, can you read the question out?
Sure. So what are the top skills I should be developing to make myself more marketable to employers when I graduate?
Sure. So I think first and foremost, while you're in school, it is imperative that you hone in and focus on developing your technical skills, your analytical skills. Obviously, you're going to be learning the foundational knowledge as it relates to supply chain management. But what you want to do is become a master in Excel in particular. That is still the primary tool that is used for data analytics. I have recruited dozens and dozens of analysts out of school. Back in my corporate days, especially when I led recruitment at the Home Depot, we recruited lots of analysts across transportation, warehousing, distribution, and so forth. And I'm going to tell you what, the people that had the strong ability to analyze data using Excel and even other tools like SQL, those were definitely candidates that were more marketable, those that didn't have that ability. Another very important skill that you'll want to develop while you're in school to make yourself more marketable are your soft skills. This is so important. We receive quite a bit of feedback from our client companies that we work with. Students come out of college, they tend to have more advanced skills when it comes to analytics and the technology, but they tend to be lacking in the soft skills department. So you definitely want to focus on enhancing your ability to communicate both in writing and especially in person. You have to have that to move into leadership positions. You must be able to influence others. You're going to be collaborating across different functions and project teams. So getting your point across in a confident manner is critical for success in most supply chain roles. You'll also want to focus on developing your knowledge base and experience working with supply chain technology. I have watched supply chain evolve, having recruited in the space for about 20 years now. It is amazing to see what's out there now compared to 20 years ago. So you have artificial intelligence, you have machine learning, blockchain. It's so important to develop your skill set in this area because technology is doing a lot of the heavy lifting these days as it relates to supply chain. So you want to focus on whatever systems that align with those functional areas that you plan on working in and building a career in. If it's transportation, a big one is a transportation management system or TMS, warehouse management system, and so forth. ERP systems are important too. SAP is the big one. You've got Oracle and many other suites. So just make sure that you develop that savviness. Doesn't mean you need to be a programmer or developer, but develop a pretty good working knowledge of supply chain systems will take you a long way. You'll also want to gain a fundamental knowledge of finance. And what I mean by that is understanding how your work can impact the health of a company from a financial perspective. So obviously you've got your top and bottom line. Supply chain is about impacting both. A lot of folks think that supply chain is about cost cutting, and while it's important to maintain budgets and cost and try to focus on driving out inefficiencies, it's also important to be able to enable and sustain revenue growth. And if you can do those two things, which supply chain absolutely impacts, that can increase the margins or profitability, and that's what it's all about. So make sure you understand how supply chain impacts finance, upstream, as in suppliers, downstream to customers, and then within the operations of a company. Lastly, this is actually last but not least, you want to focus on developing your network while you're in school. Do not wait to jump on LinkedIn to build out your profile after you graduate. And put time, as in allocate some time into your weekly schedule and dedicate it to networking activities. Obviously, you can get on LinkedIn and build out your profile, connect with your professors. If you've got a target list of companies that you have in mind, go ahead and start connecting to some people that work in supply chain with those companies. Frontline hiring managers are great people to connect with because they're going to be the folks that hire out of college. You also want to connect with the college recruiters. You'll find those in mid-sized to larger companies. So connect with people. It's not about adding digital connections. You absolutely want to engage. That's critical for success. Build out those connections, engage, seek out people that work in jobs that you might want to work in. See if you can set up informational interviews and find out, the day in the life of a certain job, call it a buyer or supply chain analyst. And you also, this is a pretty cool feature within LinkedIn, you can go in and search by your university and find alumni that might work in supply chain. And that's a fantastic way to make meaningful connections. Alumni folks tend to help out others that went to the same university, especially if you specialize in the same major. So make sure you're doing that. And then lastly, you'll want to focus on in-person networking activities. If you should belong to some supply chain associations. They offer discounts for student members. So take advantage of that and get out to some of the student chapter networking events. I know ASCM, formerly APEX, the Association for Supply Chain Management, they tend to have chapters in most major cities. So build your network, because at the end of the day, it's not all about what you know, it's about who you know as well. So thank you for tuning in to the very first series of the Supply Chain Career Coach Corner. We invite you to submit your questions to careercoach@scmtalent.com, and then we'll be fielding those questions, and we may select your question to be featured in the next series. Please hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified the next time we post a new video. Thanks for watching.